Slimehouse TV, myself Theo Kane, welcome back to the channel and to a brand new episode of Toy Talk Tuesday. You know what day it is, it's Tuesday, and on Tuesday we always talk toys. So today's topic of discussion comes from a YouTube viewer called Gavin Lightfoot, and he wrote a real long post, so I'm not going to read the whole thing word for word because I'm dyslexic and I'll only mess it up, but he basically wanted to ask, what is the best way to connect with other toy collectors in your area? So he recently met someone by chance on Facebook, noticed that they both collected Motu Origins, Masters of the Universe Origin figures, and this guy helped him find some at his local Walmart store and that kind of thing, and he really enjoyed meeting someone close to him who was into toy collecting. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about what could be the best way to meet other toy collectors in your area and have more toy friends. So I've talked about this before on this channel. I'll talk about it again because sometimes I repeat myself in these Toy Talk episodes, but it's all relevant, so if it's relevant, I'll go back to it. But basically, when I was growing up, I was always really into, like, nerd culture. I loved Marvel, I loved zombies, I loved Star Wars and stuff like that, and there wasn't that many other people that was into it, that was like me. You got, like, real neaky, nerdy people, nothing wrong with those kind of people, but they're just not like me. So trying to find someone that's on your level and your wavelength can sometimes be difficult. And back then, it was really hard for me because most of my friends were like street people. Street people generally weren't into reading comics about superheroes and watching movies about dudes fighting with lightsabers and stuff like that. Nowadays, I feel like it's a lot more one in the same. But back then, the kind of people I was around weren't really into this stuff. The real nerdy, neaky people, they were into that stuff, but then they didn't want to hang out with someone like me. So there was always like a weird conflict between me being into real nerdy stuff, but then being around street people. And the twain should never mix, or they never mixed at the time when I was young. So as I got older, all the kind of friends that I had all mixed into one, and you find that you've got lots of different friends that's into different things. I can walk through town and see some transvestite gay guy that I used to work with in a call centre, and I'm like, yes, what you saying, my G, big ups, brother, sound as fuck, used to work with him, wouldn't hear a bad word said about him. Completely different to another friend that I'll see, yo, that's my guy over there, the gold teeth tattooed roadman looking guy with a big gold chain. That's my G. I say, yes, brother, what you're saying, he's a completely different type of friend. I've got all different types of friends all over the fucking world now through the different stuff that I do. When it comes to toy collecting friends, locally, I don't really have any. I've got my one friend that I go to the toy fairs with and car boots and stuff like that, but he's a guy that he's not like a YouTube kind of guy. I couldn't get him to come on a podcast with me and talk toys. He's really not that kind of guy. He likes to collect toys and really keep it to himself. Don't like being on camera and stuff like that. So he's my one toy collecting friend that I've got locally. I've also got Slacky that collects specifically Predator toys, but he's pretty much collected all the Predators that he could ever want. So he, in a way, is a collector of toys, but he collects all different kinds of Predator merch. So he's not like a guy that will come to the toy fair with me every month and stuff like that because he's always on the hunt for other things in his collection. He's very much got everything that he wanted. So I do have friends that like to dabble in a bit of Warhammer, in a bit of toy collecting and stuff like that, but all my friends that are really into it, that like live for this shit, are not local. They're not only like down south and stuff like that, they're like in other countries. Like some of my best toy collecting friends live out in America. I can only see them when I go to America. So how do I, someone like me, find friends locally? Now, me personally, I don't really mind. I've got lots of cool friends all over the globe. I'm not trying to seek out friends locally. If I meet them organically, then that's completely cool, but I'm not actually actively going out to try and find friends in the toy community locally. But let's say that I was. So I think a good way would be to join Facebook groups and stuff like that would be, first of all, one, because I know we talked about before about all the toxic side of elitism and horrible people in Facebook groups and things like that, and people getting pushed out of Facebook groups. But as much as they are a toxic place and they're full of dicks, there's also lots of cool people on those groups, and I've met many great friends. So I think the first thing it would be, which is pretty obviously goes without saying, is to find other people in your area through Facebook. Now, when you say locally, this is someone in America, obviously, who has said, I want to find people people locally. Now in America, it's way bigger than England. It's way bigger out there when it comes to meeting someone locally. Like my friends in America, they drive like 2-3 hours to work, and that's normal. Imagine if you lived in England and you had to drive 2-3 hours to work every day. You'd never hear the end of it. People would just moan about that journey all the time. But in America, that's normal. So I suppose I can only really speak for myself, being someone living in England. The best place here, I feel, to make toys is on groups on Facebook and stuff like that. You can meet some good friends, but the best way is to go to toy fairs, to actively go out there and meet friends at the toy fair. And I think that goes for any scene. If you was into a particular type of music and you didn't really have any friends that were into it, the best place to make friends of people that are into that kind of music is go to the gigs and network and chat to people. The good thing about the toy scene is that people that are into it are really into it, and you get real people that are really passionate about that stuff. And this is why you get people that are so gatekeeper and are so protective of this thing, because they're that into it. But the flip side of it is that the people are so into it that they love talking about it. And I noticed this when I started getting into the HorrorCon community, because I'm the guest manager of HorrorCon UK, which is why I get access to interview a lot of like horror guests and stuff here on this channel when the cons are on and COVID isn't stopping them. But I'd be walking through HorrorCon and I see someone with a zombie flesh eaters t-shirt and I'm like, oh yes brother, you like zombie flesh eaters, that's one of my favourite films, my guy. And instantly you've got a connection there, because that's the kind of film that not everybody's heard of. So for someone to wear a t-shirt of it, they must be really into it, and that's the guy that I want to chat to about that movie, because it's so rare that I would get to talk about Lucio Fulci zombie flesh eaters movies to anyone in my normal day-to-day life. But being at HorrorCon, I can do that, and the same goes for the toy fair. If you go to the toy fair and you've got a guy who's got a stall full of Playmates, Ninja Turtles and accessories, you don't know that that guy can probably have a real good conversation about Playmates, Ninja Turtles, and that you can make friends with him. When I go to the toy fairs now, like, I have to pull myself away from stalls, because I'm making friends with fucking everybody. I don't even mean to. Every stall I get to, I'll start chatting to them about something, and it's very rare that the people there aren't chatty and don't want to talk about it. Most people that go to sell toys are also into toys, even if they don't really collect them themselves and they just sell them. They sell them because they're into them. No matter what level of into it they are, they're really into it. And I make so many friends at the toy fairs, and especially in the last few years. I talked about in my previous video, in one of my previous episodes of Toy Talk Tuesday, that we now are in that generation where toy fairs are full of people that have YouTube channels and stuff like that, and they're not only selling their toys, they're also selling their brand, and they're pushing their YouTube channel, and they're wearing merchandise of their logo for their YouTube channel and stuff. And they're the people that always want to talk about toys and always want to network and things like that. So those guys, like, I come away from the toy fair every time with 5 new friends. So I definitely would recommend toy fairs as a place to make friends. And if you want to find out about the toy fairs, you've got to get on the Facebook groups, and you've got to network with the community in that way. And like I said, as much as there's lots of dicks on them forums, there's also lots of really cool people, and I've made some lifelong friends through the toy scene, and none of them live anywhere near me, really, other than the one guy, Booms, that I go to the toy fairs with. Like, all my, like, hardcore toy friends are people that are not even close to me, but I met them through the toy fairs, I met them through online. So I know, like, when we was kids, your friends would be like, don't make friends with people online, but I've made some of my best friends in the world online through a mutual appreciation of toy collecting and crazy movies and that kind of thing. So that's all I can really give advice on. I will say one thing: if you do make a friend who's into toys and you're gonna go out toy hunting together, try to come to some kind of understanding, first of all, if you come across something that you both want, what the situation is. Because, like, me and my friend Booms, we go to lots of car boots together, and we both collect the same thing. And you don't know that if we didn't have some kind of agreement first, if we both walked into the car boot, went to the same stall and saw a bunch of toys that we both wanted, it's going to get to that awkward moment where you're like, oh, do you know what, who's going to take them, who buys what, should we just put 2 and then go back to mine and just split them between us? And we've done that lots of times, and I'm very cool with it. I'm not one of these guys that if I went to a car boot with a friend and we saw a load of toys, that I would get pissed off if he bought them. I'm happy that my guy got a nice score, and I know if there was anything in there that I really needed that he didn't, he would sort me out. We would do a swap or anything like, or that kind of thing, and it can go down that way. But I have seen people fall out as well over toy fairs. So don't have fickle relationships when it comes to toys. Remember, these are toys. These are things that kids played with. We love the artistry of them. We love the nostalgic attachment, but they are just toys. And I don't even know why I've gone on that weird tangent, but I have known people fall out before because they've gone to the car boot and both come across the same toys. When we go, we split left and right and then meet in the middle. And if we've picked up anything, we'll do a bit of trading if the other person wants it and stuff like that. I suppose when you get into the whole thing of it's being like your business, like I need to buy toys to sell to feed my family and pay my bills, then that's when it can get a bit argumentative between people when they're picking them up. But I am talking from the perspective of somebody that just loves to collect this stuff, and I don't even know why I went on that mad tangent. But this is Toy Talk Tuesday, and we don't have too much of a structured formula on this on this episode. So I hope today I made sense and that this was a video you could take a bit of information from. I would love to know your thoughts on this subject in the comments below. Don't forget, I'm not here just to tell you my opinion on this stuff. I'm here to have a conversation with you people that watch this channel down in the comments below once the video's done. So please let me know, what would your advice be on somebody making friends locally that are into toy collecting, and what would be a good way to find out about toy shows in your particular area? Because I can only talk about the UK, but I know there's people from all over the world that watch this channel. If you've not visited this channel before, this is Slimehouse TV. Please go back and binge the back catalogue because I drop a ton of content on here. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, and as I said before, please get involved in the discussion below. I'm also on Patreon. I run this channel all on my own, so any help I always take. I really embrace it. I'm really grateful of it. So if you want to help make this channel bigger and better than ever, you can head over to patreon.com/SlimehouseTV, and for as little as $1 a month or more, if you're feeling a bit more generous, you can help me make this channel bigger and better than ever. And I'm also on Instagram, so if you want to hit me up on there, if you don't like talking publicly in comments, some people prefer to inbox, that's cool. Hit me up on Instagram at Theo_Kane_Slimehouse. Follow me on there in the DMs. I also drop a lot of exclusive pictures on my Instagram and on my story, and just a lot of day-to-day life toy collecting and hunting and that kind of thing on there as well. So feel free to add me on Instagram. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to catch you next week for Toy Talk Tuesday. But until then, I'm Theo Kane. This is Slimehouse TV for Toy Talk Tuesday, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, I'm gone. Bye!